What's happening? Welcome to the latest episode of Terrible Towel Tuesday. I am your host, SimFBallCritic, live from the Steel Basement. What's happening, good people? Man? How's everything going? Hope you guys have enjoyed the start of your week. I hope you enjoyed the weekend. Hope you enjoyed the Super Bowl. I know some of you were upset because your Steelers weren't there, but hey, it's going to be a while. But yeah, man, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know the game surprised me. I didn't think it would go that way. And maybe I'll talk a little bit about it a little later, about the Super Bowl. And maybe I'll get into a touch of the halftime show, just a touch here at the end of this show. But we're going to talk about some Steeler football, man. Listen, got a couple things to get into. Quite a few things, little small things, but quite a few things, man, that I think that'll give us a decent show and give us something to talk about. So let's just say hello to the early commenters before I get started. We have Del Monte Green Beans. What's going on, Del Monte? My man Y Diggy in the building. My man Mark Cunningham in the building. I don't know if Mark is still here, but happy birthday to the good brother Mark, man. Guys, make sure you all say happy birthday. Give him some birthday wishes. He wrote here earlier, about 30 minutes ago. He says, today is his birthday and he's in a casino in Louisiana getting it in. Peace and love to you all. And I will watch the show tomorrow. One love. One love to you, brother. Enjoy your birthday, man. Enjoy your birthday. Have a good time. Hey, I hope you hit big in the casino. Hope you win you a little bit of money. And if you don't win no money, I hope you don't lose more than you intended on losing. Because that's usually the case, right? In the casino. You know, I'm not a big time gambler. You know, my wife and I will go to the casino. We'll have a set amount of money that we're, willing to risk. And it's not a lot. You know, we just kind of play for fun, not big time gamblers. But typically we leave out of there with either what we expected to lose or with some winnings. So I hope the same for Mark as well. Who else we got up in here? Angie, a.k.a. Baby Steeler. Hello, Angie. Guys, y'all know the routine. Anytime we see our lovely ladies of Steeler Nation, y'all know what to do. Represent. Treat them well. Treat them with care. Hello, Angie. Good to see you like always. CT Pittman in the building. Leonard Green in the building. Crazy Ron Gaming in the building. Black Thanos. What's going on, man? In the building. Steeler Cards in the building. Hello. The lovely Lanisha is in the building as well. Man, Lanisha, I'm sure a lot of us wish we were where you are right now, if I'm correct. If you're still, I know you are either from or live in Florida. So if you're still there, some of us could use that weather. You know, we're dealing with snow and carrying on and ice and things like that where I am. Yeah, I am a seasons person, though. I'm not one of those people that feel like I need to be in warm weather all the time. I do kind of like the seasons. Main reason is because of some of the clothes. I like wearing hoodies and things when it's time for that. And, you rock your shorts when it's time for that. So, but boy, when the winter is here, a lot of times we're ready for it to get on down the road, as they say. Who else we got up in here, man? Jack Bauer in the building. My good brother Kenyon in the building. The Art Steeler is in the building. CT Pittman in the building. Who else, man? Is that it? Did I get everybody? John Alexander in the building as well. What's up, man? And I think that's about all I need to shout out. Let's jump into these topics. Let me grab my phone because I don't know in which order I want to cover some of these topics. Let's see. Let's get one of the easy ones out of the way. Let's talk trade talk real quick. Let's talk some trade talks really quick, guys. And let me see if a decent amount of you guys in here. And the reason why I do that, not that I care so much about how many people are watching, so to speak, but a lot of times when I hit some of these topics that I know people want to hear from or comment on, I try to do it when, a relatively decent amount of people are in. And then, it's going to be slow. It's going to be slow. I'm not going to have so much traction during this time of the season, so I'm not worried about that. We got, over 30 people, so we'll jump into it, man, because I know a lot of you guys would like to comment on some of these topics. So the first one we'll talk about is some of the trade rumors that we're hearing. I'm not even going to get back into the Cooper Kupp thing. I talked about Cooper Kupp last week. I'll be brief as far as what I had, feelings I had on that. I think he's going to cost too much. I think it's his last season, if I'm not mistaken, as far as under contract, but I know his cap is heavy. He's an older wide receiver, definitely like Cooper Kupp, no doubt about it. Phenomenal talent, has been a phenomenal talent, but, that's not somebody that I'm kicking the door down, to Omar Khan or any of those guys to get him. I gave you those thoughts last week. But there's a new name that's being mentioned. There's rumors out there, and sources are saying that Deebo Samuel would like to be traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Deebo Samuel, if I'm not mistaken, is going into his last year on his contract. And apparently the most recent source that I saw, I say that I saw because the sources didn't come to me. We all look at the same social media and websites. The latest source is saying that apparently the 49ers are only looking for a day three pick for Deebo Samuel. Now, a day 3, that's 4th round or higher. So I definitely want to talk a little bit about that really quick. I'm going to ask you guys, man, in the chat. I know some of you guys are a little more in tune with, guys' contract and such. Do you guys know? Do any of you guys know what the cap hit would be on Deebo Samuel? Do any of you guys know that? And let me make sure also that I'm correct on. Let me check something real quick, guys. I'm almost certain that I saw that they said that they only want basically a day 3 compensation. Hold on. Let me make sure let me see if I can confirm that, get that information. Hold on one second. Pretty sure that's what I saw. Hold on. Let's see if I can find it. I'm not going to spend too much time on it though, guys. I don't want to take away from you all doing research, but I'm pretty sure that was what I saw. Hold on, give me a second. Yeah, I don't see it right away. But yeah, apparently, yeah, here we go. I think I got some information here. It says an insider is saying that apparently, yeah, here we go. Apparently, Deebo Samuel and his agent has mentioned or has even somewhat said aloud that they would like to do business with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they're looking for no more than a day 3 pick. Day 3 draft pick. Perhaps a late round pick would probably satisfy the 49ers. That's what it says here. I'm going to read what it says here. Because Samuel is coming off of a down year and is entering the final year of his contract with other top receivers set to be available in free agency or trade, a day 3 pick and perhaps another late round pick would probably satisfy the 49ers. And that is kind of what they're saying there. Oh, here we go. I didn't have to ask you guys to get the cap. So if you guys, Kenyon already got it there, so I won't read it here, but it's saying that Deebo Samuel's cap hit is $17 million. If I'm not mistaken, Cooper Kupp's was $20 million or something like that. Now, Deebo Samuel, let me check one other thing, guys. And if y'all forgive me, guys, but y'all know how I do when we go live, man. I show it to you in real time. Let me check Deebo Samuel's age. Always say his name carefully because you want to say Samuels, but it's Samuel. It's not plural. So always have to be careful when I say his name. Y'all know how I am with names, man. I like to say people's names correct because I know sometimes that's all we own, right? Is our name. He's 29. He's 29 years of age, just turned 29 in January. So Cooper Kupp, let's do a comparison really quick. Cooper Kupp, I believe, will be turning 33 this season. No, 32. He'll be 32 in June. So you have a 29-year-old and a 32-year-old going into the season. How do I feel about that? Whoa, did y'all say 29 or 20 for Cooper Kupp? I know it's a big hit, but it's higher than Debo. So let me just say what I want to say about Debo really quick. I'm rambling. Listen, I don't prefer the Pittsburgh Steelers to take on that much salary. He's 29. That's still relatively young. I would say that looking at Arthur Smith's offense and how we like to run the football and things like that, I would say that Deebo Samuel, to me, probably fits the mold better than Cooper Kupp right now. I'm just talking about our offensive scheme, what you might be able to get from a Deebo Samuel and everything that he can do after the ball and lining them up in the backfield and all that kind of stuff that they did in San Francisco. Him being a tougher guy, willing to block, all of that stuff. Not saying Cooper Kupp isn't. I'm just saying, y'all know Deebo has been more of the utility guy and more of the hard-nosed type of receiver. I think he fits better. However, if we could get the Niners to eat some of the salary, I'm not too upset with that. I'm not too upset with that. I would actually prefer that over a Cooper Kupp. And like I said, man, if you're talking about a day 3 pick, I'm not too upset about that, even if it's a 1-year rental. Listen, you got to pay to play, right? You have to pay to play. That is the business that we're in. I know a lot of us, even myself, we start talking about money and all of that, but that is the business, right? You're going to overspend, quote unquote, and I'm not even going to say overspend. These are billionaires that own these teams. These players should be compensated, but you have to basically pay to play. So if we're going to pay to play, I would rather go Deebo Samuel at this stage versus Cooper Kupp, just looking at all of the variables that I just outlined, the type of offense that we run and the type of receiver that Deebo Samuel could be in that offense, opposite of George Pickens, opposite, hopefully, a guy like Roman Wilson, opposite of Calvin Austin, that style of offense that we currently have, right? I would rather Deebo Samuel fit into that mold more than I would Cooper Kupp. So that's kind of how I feel with that. I'm on board, guys, if it makes sense. If you can get the Niners to eat some of that salary, great. I take it. And that's all I got on that particular topic. Let's see. Which one do I want to hit next? Here's a question for you lovely party people. I made an independent video the other day about this. Some of you may or may not have seen that video, but I did talk about Gerald Alexander being rehired as the Pittsburgh Steelers defensive backs coach. I asked the question, what would that mean for Grady Brown? For you guys that don't know, Grady Brown had been the Steelers secondary coach, DB coach, as well for the last couple years. Contract expired. They did not renew it. Same thing with Aaron Carey. Did not renew. You know, that's the Steelers' way of getting rid of people. They don't fire. They just don't renew. I'm not sure the ins and outs of why you felt like you had to move on from Grady Brown. I don't. I question that. When I made the other video, I was saying, what are we getting? Is one guy better than the other? Did Grady Brown do that bad to where you felt like we needed another coach? I don't know. I can't answer that question for Mike Tomlin or anyone else on staff who agreed with that assessment. I don't know. I asked on that video, what are some things, or maybe I asked in the last video, what are some things that you would look at to say that Grady Brown didn't do a good job? And I think somebody in the chat said, no, I asked this question about Aaron Carey in last week's video. So I'll ask the same question about Grady Brown. What is it that you see or didn't see from the Steelers secondary that would make you think it was all him? as opposed to Terrell Austin. That's where it becomes gray area for me when I look at things that happen on the defense. I'm the type of guy that I don't say coaches did a great job just because the team is performing well. I think some of that is on the players. So I'm not going to sit back and only praise a coach and say, oh, he did great when said group is successful. And when do you place blame on the positional coach and not the coordinator? Right? Now, if we want to be picky about maybe on Grady Brown, again, I don't know the ins and outs. I mean, from watching Hard Knocks, it looks like he, was trying to coach Joy Porter Jr. up, but maybe some people will say, well, it's his fault that JPJ is still handsy. I disagree with that. The kid was handsy in college. Tomlin and crew brings refs into practice to try to get him to play clean. I think stuff like holding and interference and offsides and false start, all that stuff to me is on players. I don't put that on coaches. I'm sure there's no coach in the NFL at any high college level, football level, including college. I don't think there's any coach that is not teaching their players to not commit penalties. It's up to the player to commit the penalty or not. So I'm just not sure what the deciding factor was there with Grady Brown. I'm not going to pretend that I know, but I'm just curious. Did Tomlin feel like he could get better from bringing Gerald Alexander back and letting Grady Brown go do something, go elsewhere? I guess. I don't know. Don't have the answer to that one. I just thought I would bring it to you guys' attention. Maybe you guys know something that I don't. Very interesting there. So, I don't know, guys. I don't know. Next on the list, we rolling through these topics, man. Let's see. What else do I want to cover really fast? Well, let me check the chat. Did you guys have any comments in regards to? Sorry, guys. This little part of my nose right here is itching. I don't even know what that little part is called. This is the tip of your nose and the bridge, but what is that little part right there that splits the nostrils? But it's itching right there. And I mean, it's driving me crazy. So if y'all keep seeing me do this, I promise y'all I'm not picking my nose. I'm literally scratching that area right there. Let's see. What do y'all got in the chat? Y'all talking about the draft. Not really nobody's talking about Grady Brown. Okay, so we could move on there. Oh, wait. Kenya says Grady was good, but obviously they decided to change it up. Yeah. And you know what, Kenya? That's how I feel sometimes, man. It's like, I know it's easy for us to criticize as fans, but we don't know the ins and outs, man. We don't know what the expectations are. We don't know what coach is looking for, owner is looking for, GM is looking for. We don't know always. That's why I try to be very reserved in my blame that I place on head coach, owner, coordinator, player. I could give educated guesses and I could speak relative to the eye test, but I don't know the ins and outs. So that's what I got on that. Why Diggy says, my thing isn't who they let go, but who they kept. I'm going there. Why Diggy? Don't worry. That's my main topic. So let's keep it moving, man. What else I got here? Hold on. Hold on, man. Where are my notes? My notes kind of disappeared. I got them on the computer also. Hold on, y'all. Next thing I want to get into, man, let's talk a little bit about quarterbacks. This one is funny to me. So let me just say this. I love Desean Elliot, man. Yo, Desean Elliot seems to be the type of dude that I respect. He says what exactly is on his mind. He says it exactly what he wants to say. He doesn't hide it. He don't seem afraid for nobody to know what he said. Think about it. If you guys have watched any of Desean Elliott's post-game or during the week interviews with the Pittsburgh Steelers, I didn't know this side of him when he wasn't with the Steelers because I don't watch other interviews. I watch other football games, but I don't be watching like what Lamar Jackson had to say after a game or Joe Burrow. Not even in the AFC North or Patrick Mahomes. I don't watch no other team's press conference, player conference. The only time it might happen is when I'm watching basketball and, you watching TNT or whatever. And other than that, I wouldn't know. So I say all that to say this. I didn't know Desean Elliott's personality until he played with us. And if you guys have watched any of his during the week or post-game conferences or interviews, whatever you want to call them, that dude speaks his mind. You remember that one in one of them games when he was like, look, I just got back. I can't really speak for everybody else, but I can speak for me. What we have to stop doing is leaving people wide open. And I'm not saying everything that he said, but he basically was like, we just got to stop leaving dudes wide open. People got to do their job. I caught a little piece of him on I think it was Marlon Humphrey's podcast, and he was talking like straight direct comments. He don't mind what he has to say. So the last thing that I'm talking about here, what he just did, they got him commenting on Instagram, I think it was, or TikTok, wherever it was. I think it was Instagram, but he commented to the idea of Aaron Rodgers coming to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he said, nah, leave him in the retirement home. And it has been confirmed that it is his account. It's not a burner account. I love that, bro. I'm sorry, I do. That's just who I am by nature. I love people who just say what it is. And they're not afraid to be who they want to be, even if I don't like them. It's a whole lot of people in the world that I can say I'm not a fan of, but I respect them just standing on their own too, man. 10 toes down and just say what they got to say, and they don't care who feels, you know what I mean? You can be compassionate, but I'm kind of like that too. I respect everybody's feelings, and I'm compassionate, and you hurt somebody's feelings, of course. You don't want to do that. You want to be in favor with everyone, but I don't censor myself. I'm always going to give my opinion. Even if it's an opposing opinion. If I'm the only one, I'm not afraid to say, I disagree with that. Or just say what I got to say, because you could do it without being disrespectful too. But anyway, that's another conversation, man. But yeah, the thought of Aaron Rodgers, bro. Listen, let me tell y'all something really quick. That's a big no for me. That's a big no for me. And I'm gonna roll what I gotta say into this segment that I'm gonna get to in a moment about the big changes. It's just a whole lot of stuff just needs to change, man. And that's one of them. It's always I started to name this show The Steelers Have to Get Out of That Win Now mentality, but I'm gonna explain what I mean by that here in a moment. But that's how I feel as well, man. I don't want no Aaron Rodgers coming to the Pittsburgh Steelers this year. No. Thanks, but no thanks. Appreciate all of the good times I saw and the incredible stuff that you did as a QB, and hats off. I respect you for that on the field. That is it, brother. I do not want to see him in the black and gold. I'm sorry. Let's see. Next thing I have on my list. I'm not even going to say the gentleman's name. Because listen, I don't know people personally. I'm seeing some people say some harsh things about this guy in comments. I don't take people's comments on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it at face value. This person that I'm about to talk about, I saw in comments, some people are saying, are we surprised? Are we surprised this is coming from the racist? I'm like, okay, I don't know so much about him, so I'm not going to comment like that. and I'm not going to say his name here because, again, I don't get into the back and forth with people. I keep names out of it. And, if he sees this and he has a problem with it, that's on him. But I am going to give my opinion on what was done. So what I'm talking about, some of you guys might ask. Let's talk about this billboard. I don't know much about this guy. I've seen some of his posts and stuff on Twitter, after games and when we lose a game and, the frustration builds up. A lot of those things are in my algorithm, whether it's YouTube or Twitter. I guess, again, algorithms understand what you look at the most. So I'm always linked to the Steelers. So I've seen some of this guy's commentary, he feels a certain way, just like a lot of other people. When the team loses, he wants everybody fired, and he's not such a fan of Mike Tomlin and all that. No problem with any of that. But I did see the clip. I saw the original clip when he said that he was going to get a billboard put up in Pittsburgh and basically going at Mike Tomlin and Coach Rooney. And lo and behold, today, the billboard was put up. Let me see if I can find it. I'm going to read to you guys exactly what it said. Hold on. So you guys are in the know. Hold on. And apparently, this guy has a huge following. Shout outs to him. Let me see if I can find it, guys. I don't know if it's going to come up, but if I find it, I'll read it. If not, I'm not going to worry about it. Let me see if I can find it, guys. Hold on. Give me 2 shakes of a rattlesnake. How many of y'all know where that phrase comes from? 2 shakes of a rattlesnake. Here it is. I found it. The billboard says, the standard is mediocrity. Trade Tomlin or sell the team, Rooney! Exclamation. We've had enough. Paid for by, and that's the gentleman's name. So, I'm just going to comment and say this. Hopefully that's just some money that you don't mind wasting. Hey, I hear that you have quite a decent following. Maybe somebody sponsored you with that, and you didn't have to pay out of pocket, which hats off to you if that's what you did. That would be smart and wise. Otherwise, it's a waste of money. Guys, listen. I came on here and I want to say last week I might have said this. I don't remember if it was last week or the week before. But Art Rooney, in his interview, clearly told you guys what I have been saying for years. They are pretty satisfied with Mike Tomlin and what Mike Tomlin has been able to do with the franchise, not only winning a Super Bowl, going to a second, but continuing to have winning seasons, which I know we as fans say we're tired of that. But Art Rooney told you out of his own mouth. He even talked about last season. Hey, 10 wins and we got to the playoffs. We just got to find a way to win. But he basically said, and his brother said a week or so before that they have outperformed the normal, I guess the normal level of success. They've outperformed that by consistently having winning seasons, which translates into money. They're performing well. They're still a premier franchise in the NFL. Draft is coming to town next year. You see what I'm saying? It's like, so the reason why I say all that, guys, you could get the billboard, you could do all you want. It don't matter. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's cool to laugh at or whatever, or it's cool. Like I said, I don't knock what people do on social media, right? It's just like, when I was doing the gaming thing. I still do the gaming stuff, but not so heavy involved. But when I was doing the thing and when I was going down to EA and trying to help them get Madden better, I still kind of do it, but I don't go down to EA much more. It's more so at home, I can still give them a little feedback. But it used to be this thing where, other people in the sim community would eventually, they got mad at how I was doing it, right? Because when I started out, just a quick side story real quick. When I started out, I was why do y'all do this? Why do y'all do that? When I went down there and I got to know the people and I learned that, so you guys actually want to do everything that I said and more. Speaking at the development level, it's those guys upstairs, the ones who wear the suits with the ties and all of that control what really goes on with this game. Got it. Once I acquired the knowledge, I wasn't so rah-rah. Still gave constructive feedback, but I wasn't so rah-rah because I understood, dog, if any changes are going to be made, it's going to be made up top. Any real significant changes. Y'all are barking at the wrong people. But you always had those people, you see them every year, they take the negative approach, how EA games are the worst games ever, and da-da-da-da-da. But you know why I'm not mad at them? They personalities. Some of these dudes eat off of that. So you will never hear me say, oh, he's stupid for doing it. No, he's not. This is all the internet, folks. Get your money. I ain't mad at that, but it's some people who have a lane. That's what they do, and it's everywhere. It's not just sports and the Steelers. It's music. It's video games. All these is Apple versus Windows. It's all of these different people have created themselves as being the people to go to hear their opinion, even the negative ones, because negative makes money. So I ain't mad at that. So I'm not mad at this guy with the billboard. I just think it's funny because if we really care about the team, excuse me, and he's really a super fan as they're calling him on social media, dog, that ain't gonna get it done. But get your money though. I applaud you. I ain't even mad at you, my man. Get your money for being the angry fan. Do your thing. It's just funny when I see people comment on it as if y'all really think that's gonna change anything. Like, y'all guys, wake up. Everybody. Come on, man. Use your third eye. But anyway, I said I would come on here and talk about it. It's funny. It's funny. My man get a billboard put up, and that's cool, but ain't gonna change nothing in the grand scheme. Ain't gonna change nothing in the grand scheme. Let's see. What else we got, man? Let's get right to it. Let's get right to the main topic because I'm going to cover a whole lot here. I'm going to cover a whole lot of little points, and I'm freestyling too. Freestyling this. I don't know what I'm going to say, but I know it incorporates a lot. Main topic of the night, good people. You see it in the title. Where are these big changes that Mike Tomlin talked about? I said it in my interview, in my previous video that I posted, independent video, when I talked about the Gerald Alexander signing. And I asked the question in that video. I said, wait, well, I didn't ask the question. I made a statement. I said, Mike Tomlin could talk less in terms of responding to some of these hot button points. Now, maybe his plan is to just do it just to have something to say. I ain't mad at it. But when you say things like, oh yeah, hell yeah, there's going to be significant changes, then people are going to hold you to that. And there's probably not going to be big changes. Because what I said in that video is when you hear a coach say there's going to be big changes, I'm going to ask you all in the chat. I'm going to ask you all in the chat before I continue. When you hear the coach say there's going to be big changes, in your mind, what are the changes that you want to see? What are the things that you're thinking about? What usually comes right to mind when the head coach says there's going to be big changes. I'm going to sit here for a moment, man. I want some of you guys to answer it because I just want to see where you guys' mind go and see if it aligns with mine. And why Mike Tomlin, when you say that, you got to take whatever criticism is going to come back if these things are not reflected. It's perception. And I apologize to you guys, man. You guys have seen me drink out of this Stanley Cup many times. I drink a lot of water. I'm real good with drinking water. So you're going to see me do that often. So I apologize. And in side note, I wasn't on the Stanley craze. That wasn't my thing. I had a Yeti. But my wife, she, like many others on TikTok, she fell into the Stanley craze. Oh, you should get one, babe. I said, I'm not buying that cup. She bought that. And as you can see, I still have the same one where she has a few. I still have the same one. Look, and look, paint's coming off. I don't care. It's a cup. But anyway, let me see what y'all got. Oh, didn't see that, CT Pittman. I didn't see that about Debo. I definitely will check that out. Let me ask CT, was he talking about Tomlin did him wrong recently? Because reports out there saying that Debo was looking to come to the Steelers, him and his agent. All right, so CT also says, I think coaching changes right off the rip. Yep. Steeler Card says, big changes doesn't mean subbing out a new DB coach. A big change would be switching OC or DC, which both isn't happening. Okay. While Dickey says either personnel changes or significant coaching changes, coordinator or coaching changes with a problem area. There you go. There you go. And CT Pittman says, no, his final season about not getting playing time. Wait, you said Tomlin? Oh, you talk about Debo. James Harrison, my bad, man. I'm thinking Debo Samuel. Nah, I didn't see that pivot interview. I do have to watch that too. For some reason, I was thinking you were talking about Debo Samuel. My bad. Miscommunication there. Okay, y'all talking about Debo, not Debo Samuel. But yeah, look, what you guys said in the chat is exactly what I would think too. It must be offensive or defensive coordinator, right? Since offensive coordinator has been a hot topic since Matt Canada got fired and we hired Arthur Smith, which I knew Arthur Smith wasn't gone after the first season. That would have surprised me because that would mean another firing. Or defensive coordinator, right? And then I backed off of that train when I found out that Terrell Austin is going into his last year of his contract, which again, now we can't say that it's not possible that the Steelers would fire a coach since we did finally see it happen with Matt Canada, but it's not the norm. So as soon as I realized that Terrell Austin also had a year left, Arthur Smith recently hired, what else is he talking about? And that's what I'm saying. Maybe Mike Tomlin's defense is to just say something, just to say something. And if that's what he's doing, hey, if that's the way he chooses to do it, who am I to be mad at that? But I'm just saying, when you say that, then you have to be able to expect that the criticism is going to come your way, because even I'm asking the question tonight, where are these big changes? One change I don't understand. I don't understand not renewing Grady Brown and bringing in Gerald Alexander. But hey, what do I know? I'm not in the office. I'm not in the meeting rooms. None of that. I don't know. Maybe they didn't see what they wanted to see from Grady Brown, and maybe they preferred Alexander, which they had Alexander. He was with the Steelers in 2022 and 2023. You know? I have to see. But here's the thing, Mike T. There's also rumors coming out, and again, I don't believe rumors, but let's entertain them. There's rumors out there now that's saying that there's several players within the organization that no longer agree with the philosophy. Could it be true? Maybe. Some of them guys are saying that, we need to start playing modern football as opposed to 1980 and 1990 football. It's possible. But we have heard these same rumors the last several years. So I don't know how true it is, but let's entertain it for a moment. Could very well be true, because even us as fans are looking at it and saying, dog, what is this? You can be a run-first offense. You can be a run-first team, but you have to do it in a way that's not so vanilla. There are other football teams out here that kind of mix it up a little bit, even as they focus on the run. There are different run plays and run styles and schemes that you can do, even with the current personnel. But much too often, Arthur Smith is just vanilla. Now, like I've said several times during the season, Arthur Smith has tools in his bag, but for some reason he seems like he reverted back to about 4 or 5 run plays. And his favorite one being the toss. I don't recall seeing many inside zone splits this season where you run the zone one direction and you have a guy crack back. I don't see too many of those. I didn't see too many of the wham plays. We saw some of those with Matt Canada. Remember we was using guys like, what's the dude's name? Cody White. Y'all remember him? And we was using him in wham situations. And he becomes a lead blocker. I hadn't seen much of that. And hey, you got a guy in Skoranek that probably could have did it better than Cody White did. Or Kobe White, whatever his name was. Y'all remember that play? I even broke that play down on the channel. I was like, yo, this was a nice play. And we were doing it often. Sometimes we do it with Fryermuth. Didn't see much of that from Arthur Smith's offense. Why can't it be a mixture of, zone runs from time to time with, different blocking scheme? Why you can't throw a little power in there? Run some traps here and there. There's so many things that we could do trying to be a running team that we just didn't do. It was so basic. How about even not just lining up in 22 personnel, 13 personnel, 12 personnel, and running the same plays out of bunch formations? Tight formations, heavy package. What about running more out of shotgun? Just playing a sheer numbers game, box count game. Sometimes run out of shotgun, run out of pistol. Again, spread out the defense some. Don't just line up all the time with these super tight formations. Yeah, it will work at times, but you throw something different out there. That's all I'm asking. I don't have a problem with us wanting to run first, but you're going to have to mix it up to where teams can't just load the box because they know what's coming at them. Make them get out of that a little bit. But again, we keep hearing, Mike Tomlin, that it's on you. That's what people keep saying. That you're running the whole philosophy, which I'm sure that philosophy is what you want to run. And like I said before, you all, about Mike Tomlin, listen, man, y'all know how I feel about him as a coach, what he's been in his career. But I said, hey, man, I think his philosophy just, it is what it is. And the only way we're going to be better under Mike Tomlin is if we happen to find a roster that can execute his philosophy better than the rest, or some miraculous thing happens and he completely changes his approach in year, 19? But here's another thing. I'm going to put this on Mike Tomlin a little bit. We're hearing that the Steelers, rumors, but we're hearing that they're talking to Russell Wilson to re-sign. I do not want Russell Wilson as our quarterback. I'm sorry. I love Russell Wilson. Y'all know that. I've said it 1,000 times. I love what Russell Wilson did down the stretch before the losing streak. I'm talking about, I can't even say down the stretch, because down the stretch would be the losing streak. Midpoint of the season. After he took over for Justin Fields, when he went on that 6-1 run, love what he brought to the table. I felt like he elevated the offense in terms of taking shots down the field and things of that nature, and being able to do more things from a pass perspective. He did. But down the stretch, his inconsistencies as far as his capability and his style of play started to show more. Everything people were saying about him, even in the Seattle days, doesn't like to attack the middle of the field. That showed up. Not as effective when he's in the pocket, stationary. That showed up. Much better on the move. We saw that. Accuracy was still there from time to time. So I'm not knocking everything. I'm just saying, and this is the hard reality that we have to face as a fan base. The Pittsburgh Steelers need to get out of the win now mentality. Let me repeat that. That was almost the title of the show tonight. The Pittsburgh Steelers need to get out of their win now mentality. That's how you get guys like Russell Wilson and possibly Aaron Rodgers, which I hope that ain't true. But that's how that keeps happening. We keep putting the Band-Aid. We keep putting the Band-Aid on the wound, and the wound keeps opening. But we got to stitch that thing up. We have to. You know, when you put a Band-Aid on something and it's a big wound, it might heal in time if you don't mess with it. If you don't touch it, don't touch it. Don't hit it. Don't do anything. That big wound might heal itself because the body is amazing. However, when the wound is too big and you keep fiddling around and you go outside too early and you hit it, starts to bleed again, you're back to square one. And some people don't usually want to do stitches or surgery because it takes too long. The Steelers need to do surgery on their approach to being back at the top of the mountaintop. They have to officially rebuild. They have to. It starts with the quarterback position. You've got to get one of these young studs or one of these young guys that you think you can make into a stud, and you got to rock with that. Justin Fields is age 25, will be turning 26. I would rather, if you want to keep it quote unquote familiar and safe, if you're choosing between Fields or Wilson, I would rather the Steelers just rock with Fields and see what you can get from him. Because if you go with Fields, right, the Steelers would do exactly what I want them to do. They would still be committing to get younger, because you could go with Fields, and if Fields don't work out, you could draft another guy later. Or maybe you draft somebody now. I see Phil Yates is talking about them drafting the Dart kid. And then you start the process of finding the franchise quarterback. Yes, some of you guys are going to say, well, we tried with Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett won't hit, man. I tried to hold out as long as I could, but Kenny Pickett, remember that class was weak. Kenny Pickett was the best there was to offer in that class, but Kenny Pickett was not in the class where it's like 4 or 5 or 6 of these dudes that are them dudes. It was a weak class. It was a crapshoot. And maybe Kenny just wasn't ready for the big time yet in terms of being a franchise quarterback. Maybe not. But the Steelers put themselves in a position where they had no choice. because of the bad succession plan they had for Ben Roethlisberger. They didn't have their Brett Favre's Aaron Rodgers moment. They didn't have their Aaron Rodgers Jordan Love moment. They didn't even have their Joe Flacco Lamar Jackson moment. Didn't take as long for Lamar to get on the field, but Lamar was clearly an extremely talented guy that you knew. Just give him time. Steelers never did that. When they tried to do a little bit of that, Ben was upset. He was pissed. Y'all remember that? He was pissed that they drafted Mason Rudolph. I mean, I'm just saying, we could have, there's other things we could have done there. Knowing that you aging. I know you a heck of a competitor, Ben. I know you wanted to ride out as long as you could, but you got to sometimes know, dog, we got to do something after you, sir. We have to. I'm just saying, there's a lot that I need to see change, man, with the Steelers' approach. And I think it does start all the way up top and comes all the way down to the head coach, man. Again, I'm a Mike Tomlin fan. But we can't keep doing the same thing over and over. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to support the team. I'm going to support coach. But if we end up going back into this season with Russell Wilson as the starter and we done paid him money and Russell's 36, dog, no. That's the same old thing again and again. A 36-year-old man can't be your franchise guy unless he played until he was 36. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Let me say that one more time for the people in the back. Let me get closer. Mike T, Art Rooney, Omar Khan. A 36-year-old quarterback cannot be your franchise quarterback unless he has played until he was 36 years old. You can't be signing a 36-year-old quarterback and saying that he's going to be your franchise. Correction. 37. Because if I'm not mistaken, Russell was 36 during the season, correct? And if everybody's birthday happens every year, that means he'd be 37 in 2025 season. No, thank you. I'm going to say it one more time. You can't have a 36-year-old quarterback become your franchise quarterback unless he has been playing until he turned 36 years old. It's the only way that makes sense. Look at the common denominator. All the playoff teams except for us. Most of them, young, franchise quarterback that's been there and done that for a little while. The other one didn't get to the playoffs, but almost did, Joe Burrow. Lamar. Josh Allen. CJ Stroud. Bo Nix. Hey, in his first season. Everybody's going young and they're having success with these guys. That's just 4. Patty Mahomes. Jalen Hurts. Look, 2 of them dudes already got Super Bowls. Patrick got Super Bowls. Jalen just got him one. Did I say Joe Burrow already? I don't remember. Jaden Daniels. Hey, I'll even say this. Golf. It's 9. I'm missing some. Oh, Justin Herbert. That's 10. That's 10 quarterbacks right there that you can build your franchise around. And I'm sure I'm missing a couple others. I know I am. I know I'm missing a couple others, but I'm talking about the successful ones. Just look at the playoffs. Yeah, I said Bo Nix already. Bo look like he gonna be all right. Come on, man. No, I ain't miss. I said C.J. Stroud, Diggy. I said him early. Yeah. See? Steelers don't have that. And if you struck out on Kenny Pickett, go keep firing. Keep firing. Okay, let's see what Justin Fields could do. He's young. Let's give him a year or two. Oh, all right, struck out there. Let's go draft another guy. There you go. Jordan Love. That's 11. Brock Purdy. And I was the guy. Remember I kept calling Brock Purdy a systems quarterback? Maybe he is. Maybe he still is. But the boy has been playing pretty well. And he did all he could with an injured team this year, but I can't even knock Brock Purdy. Pittsburgh Steelers don't have it. They don't. They don't have it. So, Tomlin and crew, listen, where are the big changes, man? You can do it for us right now and go with another option at quarterback, and that would be Justin Fields or go draft somebody. That's the only options that I'm not going to say accept, but that's the only two options that I feel like, okay, now you're showing me we're going to try something different. I do not want Aaron Rodgers. I do not want Kirk Cousins. Honestly, I do not want Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold did his thing in Minnesota, but guys, we cannot lose sight of maybe that was just the right environment for him right there. I don't want that. Even though Sam is still young, I'm just saying, go get your franchise quarterback, dog. You're either going to have to draft him like all the rest of these people did for the most part and Goff was traded, or you're going to have to try the young guy that you have at the stable right now who 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Apparently, Justin Fields does want to be in Pittsburgh. That should be an easy deal. Pay him what he's worth. You ain't got to shoot for the moon because he's not going to demand that. He's going to be cheaper than any of the other free agents that you think you're going to bring in. Let's talk about that. Justin Fields is going to be cheaper than Russ, Aaron, Kurt, Sam, any of them. It's got to be Fields or it's got to be a draft pick. Point blank. And we as fans got to be happy with whatever decision they make. We're going to have to, listen, we're going to have to temper our expectations in terms of getting this team off to a better direction. It's got to start with the quarterback. And it really has to start with the philosophy. But again, I don't think Tomlin and company is going to change their actual offensive philosophy. But guess what? Here's another reason why you go with Justin Fields. Justin Fields can play the same way we saw Jalen Hurts play. He can run occasionally. And matter of fact, Justin Fields could be your combination between a Jalen Hurts and a Lamar Jackson. Meaning, a few more design runs to the QB like Lamar, but we don't have to overdo it like Jalen. Strong arm like Jalen. Have to get Justin Fields' accuracy up a little. Help get him to read the field a little better. But he could be that since you want to be run-first offense. Come on, man. That's all I'm asking. It's clearly there ain't gonna be no big coaching changes. Rooney already told us pretty much everybody's coming back. So there you have it. So please, pretty please, sign Justin Fields, run with that, and a draft pick somewhere down the line, and perhaps a vet. Or draft somebody that you're going to run with. I don't want no stopgap no more. And that's the thing, Steeler Nation. I don't want no more stopgap. I don't want no more Mitch Trubisky and we're going to let this guy come in and we're going to, while we group. No. We've tried all that. It don't work. It hasn't worked. Draft the guy, put him out there, see what he can do. Or coach up Justin Fields. No. Joe Maddox is saying Rodgers is better than Fields. I don't care, dog. That's just me as a fan. Y'all don't have to agree with me. It's just me. I don't want no more short-term solution. I don't want no more, well, let's just go win the Super Bowl. We ain't winning no daggone Super Bowl just because of Aaron Rodgers. Stop. We're not. We're not in a position right now to plug and play and win a Super Bowl. I don't believe so. And any quarterback that's out there that would be able to help us do that, you got to trade for them. And ain't nobody trading for those guys. We got to do the rebuild, bro. All these plus 35-year-old quarterbacks, no. They had their time. No. We got to start from 28 and down. How about that? Let's put a cap on it. 28 years old or younger. That's where we build our franchise. Just my thoughts. All right, guys, I'm going to give you guys a couple of minutes here and see what y'all got. Any questions, concerns, Wonder Bread, whatever. While I wait for that, I will give you guys my real quick thoughts. Super Bowl shocked me. Did not think the Eagles would do that. I was confident that if the Eagles would be able to get pressure with just their front four, which I knew they would be able to, it would be a long night for Kansas City because I did not think that the Eagles would blitz much. They didn't have to. I kept telling everybody all season, Kansas City don't look that strong to me. Yeah, they had a couple games where they put up a few points late, but they just did not look like a super strong, dominant team to me. They found ways to win, and I felt the Eagles' defense could match up well with them, which they did. But that front, have mercy. I seen so many people tweeting, hey, man, I hope the Steelers are watching that. Yeah, you could invest in a D tackle early. Don't be afraid to have 2 or 3 of them. My God, that front. Oh, that front. Man, them Georgia boys that they got up there just all the other talent on that defense is just crazy, man. Just crazy. Shout outs to Desean, man, and getting a pick 6 on his birthday in the Super Bowl. You can't do it better than that. I didn't do nothing better than that at 22. And let's face the facts. He's an anomaly. He's playing a position that it's just the facts. He's playing a position where not many people look like him play that position. Jason Sehorn comes to mind. That's about it. Sure, there was a couple others, but I'm just saying, shout outs to him. That means he nice. It's just the facts. Not a whole lot of folks that look like him plays that cornerback position. Shout outs to Cooper DeJean, man. Yeah, just phenomenal defense, man. And Kansas City took away the run game, man, and Philly made them pay for it, man. I'm telling we had a little party here. I was telling people as we were watching it, I was like, yo, Spags going to send the heat. Spags going to play man defense. Jalen will have opportunities. He'll get some one-on-ones. Can they beat them? The question is, can they take advantage of it? And shout outs to Jalen Hurts, man. He was able to do it. He was able to do it, bruh. So they won, and they won easily. Real quick on the halftime show, me and Kenyon toyed with the idea of us having to talk about that. And the year that Kendrick Lamar had, I think we definitely should, man. And I think we should record it. So we'll try to see if we can get that done, man. And I'll post it for you guys to see. I can't promise if it will be live or not, just depending on our schedules, but I'll reserve some of that for that. But I will say, listen, as somebody who has, participated in the music business, even though I wasn't high level like that, Kenya would understand this too. I'm watching everybody's opinion. Some people loved it, some people hated it. And the reason why some people hated it, oh, he didn't do this song, he didn't do that song. I'm like, here's the thing. Music is subjective, number one. But number two, does the Super Bowl show, is it great to you only if the artist performs the song you wanted them to perform? Because I saw a lot of people say, he didn't do all right, he didn't do this, he didn't do that. I feel you. There's a lot of Kendrick Lamar records that could have went over there. But I think what he did was, not only, if you missed all the symbolism, I'm not going to even go there in this tonight, but a lot of y'all, it went right over your head, what he did visually. But even from a conceptual standpoint, of course he's going to keep it current, because the Not Like Us was the biggest song of the year. So of course he was going to build his set around that. Hey, I'll give y'all another bone that some of y'all might not have caught on to. That whole GNX album with the whole West Coast bounce to it and kind of being more playful, I actually feel like all of that was by design for the Super Bowl. Some of y'all might not catch that. Knowing Kendrick Lamar the way I do, as far as I've been listening to this kid since even before Section 80. Everything he does is conceptual. Trust me. Everybody said, oh, the GNX album it won't really for me. Might not have been for everybody, but that was for the West Coast coming off of this victory. And the more you listen to those songs, the bounce that it has and how playful it is and how big it is and how much it blew up, all of them songs, you hear, my wife watches TikTok a lot. You hear about 6 or 7 of them songs playing on TikTok on rotation. Makes me think that whole album, it was a play. Like, yeah, I'm going to go with the current sound for the Super Bowl. Mix in one or two, a couple songs that you know from the past, but I'm going to go current because this is what the people want to hear. So while some of you guys are hating on it, saying, oh, he didn't do this song, he didn't do that song, you got to think like an artist. Would it have made a difference? Like, honestly, it's a 13-minute set. Does the Super Bowl show take your experience up here just because the song you want to hear got performed? Or can you take a step back and look at the show and appreciate what said person did or didn't do? Not saying you got to like it. Because, listen, The Weeknd, I'm a fairly decent fan of his music, but I didn't like The Weeknd's Super Bowl performance. It just wasn't for me. But I didn't trash him. I didn't say it was trash. I just was like, that ain't really that performance really wasn't for me. But that don't take away who he is. And that's the weirdest thing is some people are judging who Kendrick Lamar is based off of whether they like the Super Bowl performance or not. And I'm like, y'all totally missed it. But yeah, I thought it was good, man. I thought, again, I'm not going to go into it right here, but fam, the symbolism that he put on display is so many little pieces that I think a lot of people are missing it. Phenomenal. And then just having the wherewithal of performing that song and looking right in the camera and say, Drake, Like, it's just so strategic, man. The whole Uncle Sam play, like, man, it was phenomenal to me because I view it from a different lens. Again, I'm always an artist at heart. I view it differently. It was crazy. And then, yeah, of course, being a fan, I would want to have heard some different songs, possibly. But once I saw it come together, I'm like, I see what you did there. You feel me? I see what you did there. Round of applause to Renegade Drake. Oh, we got us some Wonder Bread, man. Y'all ain't give me no Wonder Bread tonight. I appreciate the Wonder Bread. Thank you, brother. Round of applause. I don't know if you hear it, because I don't hear it on my end, so my bad if you didn't hear it. My Stream Deck software got an update, so you might not have heard it, but round of applause. Thoughts on his beef with Drake? I mean, it's hip hop. That's all I'm gonna say. It's hip hop. No big deal. It's hip hop. A lot of the greats been through it. I think he out Drake in the beef. Drake was usually the one that makes the hit song or makes the mockery of the beef, like he did with Meek, and Kendrick just played his hand so well in that feud. M. Marcus says it was whack. Okay, yep. Respect it. Anything in particular what makes you say it was whack? Or even some of you guys that thought it was good. What things did you appreciate about it? What else y'all got? Anything else y'all got? I'll give a few more minutes. Debbie says, you're not going to get all the songs anyway, even at a concert. I went to see Stevie Wonder and it was a great show. He didn't do All I Do. Oh, man. All I Do, one of them too, Debbie. Or As. And As, those are two of my club joints. Yeah, man, it's a tricky thing, man. Trust me. Oh, wow, okay. M. Marcus says it was boring. All right, so tell me this, because I asked my wife the same question. What makes the Super Bowl performance not boring? And I'm asking that for a specific reason, because I saw people say the same thing about Rihanna's show. She was pregnant and stuff. And so I'm just curious what makes you tick to make you say, man, it would have been dope if this would have happened. I always like to hear people's perspectives. What else y'all got? Hip Hopotamus says, personally, I want something different for a halftime show. Okay. These new artists don't electrify me. Okay. I want something to get us on the edge of our seat. I can respect that. Like this, I'll say this. I thought Bruno Mars' show when he did it was dope. I did. I thought Usher's show was okay. It was decent. Wasn't bad. Who else? I'm trying to think of some of the more recent ones, but I understand exactly what Hip Hopotamus is saying. Yeah, that they've been showing the clip of Michael Jackson's halftime show. You just don't really get those type of things no more. Yeah, you're right, Kev, so far. And he says Usher's was okay. Yeah, see, none of them to me have... Oh, yeah, that one was good. The Dre and Snoop and them. Yeah. I did like that one. And like I said, I liked the Kendrick performance. Because, again, I could be biased in the way I view things because I'm an artist, right? And understanding how Kendrick thinks, I understood what he was doing. So to me, before, let me give y'all a little secret. Before I even came into this, right, I was looking at the halftime show like, what are the visuals gonna be? I wasn't even thinking what songs he was gonna do, because I know the dude is so conceptual. I knew whatever songs he was gonna do was gonna match the theme. And if you go back and watch it, all of them songs were on purpose. All of them. When you look at what he did with Samuel L. Jackson and all of that, like it was all on purpose. So there were certain songs that you weren't going to get. So that's all I'm saying. Exactly what Kenyon just said. Exactly what Kenyon just said. If y'all look at what Kenyon just said, that's my exact thought. Yeah, I love the performance. I thought it was dope. I mean, listen, this is somebody who's seen Kendrick in a concert, and I got all of them other records y'all talking about. So I knew it wasn't going to be that. Like, it's funny. Even people like, a shout outs to Joe Budden, man. I watch the Joe Budden podcast a lot. Big fan of what they do over there. And it's funny listening to, I can't wait to hear the show they probably recorded tonight, because on the last show, that set list leaked and all of them were saying, you got to be stupid to think that was going to be the list. And it turned out being exactly the way it leaked. So I'm curious to hear their thoughts now, as they were expecting certain songs to be played as well. And I understand why you would expect, oh, We Gonna Be All Right, or one of those to ring off. But again, when you think like an artist, and this is what Kendrick did. Let me just explain it and then I could get out of here. Kendrick had a conceptual performance on the Super Bowl stage. Understand what I'm saying about conceptual. It wasn't just random songs. It wasn't a set list. It was a structured, orchestrated concept that we haven't seen before. And that's why it probably would look different to most. Like, why did he? It was a concept. Much like all of his albums. Remember To Pimp a Butterfly? Remember the Damn album? Concept. That's him by nature. So it didn't surprise me that it wasn't going to be certain songs that I would have loved for him to have done up there. Nope. It was a concept. And some people liked it. Some didn't like it. I'm not opposing anybody who liked it or didn't like it. I liked it. What's my favorite Kendrick song? Wow, it's a lot. A lot of my Kendrick favorites are B-sides. B-sides meaning the album cuts. It's a lot of songs of his that are favorites of mine. Like, I'll give you one. Sang About Me on Good Kid, Mad City. How Much Do a Dollar Cost on To Pimp the Butterfly. Fear on the Damn album. Duckworth on the Damn. It's a bunch of records. I could go on and on and on. It's so many B-side records that are my favorite joints. That some people might not have ever heard. He got songs on Section 80 that are some of my favorites. Like Reaganomics, Rigor Mortis, Hold Up. It's a bunch of records. But yeah, man. Anything else Steeler related? Anything else Steeler related before we drop out of here? Yeah, see, Ken, you know what time it is. Man in the Garden is a super dope record because of what he's talking about. But like, conceptual, dog. Go listen to How Much Does a Dollar Cost on To Pimp a Butterfly. Oh, To Pimp a Butterfly. Another one, Black of the Berry. Oh my God. Just the last bar on that song. For y'all that have never heard it, the very last bar on Black of the Berry. Man. Yeah. Oh, what we got? Hip Hop Bottomer says, you've said yourself that Tomlin wants his QB to not lose the game. That's exactly what Fields was forced to do. One reason why it seemed like Russ stretched to feel better. Yeah. That's true, man. And Tomlin, listen, man, Tomlin got to get out of that too. I like your coach T, man, but we got to get away from the. I miss no risk it, no biscuit. You know what I mean? Shout outs to Bruce Arians, man. Like, come on, man. Like, we gotta do something different, man. Again, I did appreciate what Russell Wilson brought to the table. It's just that, you know, yeah. Yep. What else y'all got? He says Kendrick got a lot of his flow from Andre 3000. I mean, that's from the beginning of time, man. All of your favorite rappers got influence from somebody. You know, Jay was influenced by Big Daddy Kane. Nas was influenced by Cool G Rap. I mean, it's one of the only people that I haven't never really heard anybody quite rap like them is a Rakim. Rakim's style, and I think it's hard to mimic. But it ain't too many people. Ain't too many people that can rhyme in that cadence of a Rakim. But yeah, you know, you can hear M, you can hear Andre, you can hear there's pockets of Jay-Z and Kendrick. Like, you can hear they all got it. I mean, that's what you should do. You know, everybody, you should kind of appreciate what cats do and make it into your own style. You understand what I'm saying? Like, Kendrick's style is undeniable. However, there's a lot of little, I would say, cats who've come after Kendrick that sound like Kendrick, right? Even though Kendrick is like a mesh of a lot of different guys, it's a whole lot of them dudes that kind of rhyme in that same scheme. You know, dudes like, and I love this dudes like King Los. Some of y'all might not even know who that is. I love King Los. King Los is nice too, but you would put him and Kendrick and them kind of in the same pocket. You know what I mean? Joyner Lucas. There's a whole lot of them dudes that kind of got that same, you know? But that's hip hop. That's hip hop, man. Oh, Scarface. Ooh. Yeah, we talking now. Well, yeah, one day, man, I'll do a little show, man. Maybe I'll do a little music show or something like that. We'll see, man. Definitely trying to get some more content. But Kenyon, yeah, I'm gonna get with you, Kenyon. Like, hopefully we can try to make that happen, man. Trying to think of what time I would have this week. My time is crazy, man, with my youngin' and AAU. And some of you guys have been asking me and my guy Smitty. We trying to get back to it on Thursdays too, but you know, Thursday practices. And as soon as the Thursday practice is over, then he's got training on Thursday, and then his spring AAU teams practices are going to be Mondays and Wednesdays, and then training on Thursday. And but you got to do what you got to do for your young ones, man. But all right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get out of here, man. I love talking hip hop with y'all, man. And listen, whether you enjoyed Kendrick's performance or not, I would encourage you just go back and look at it now and see if you can pick out all of the symbolism. You don't necessarily have to like the music, but I think you're doing yourself possibly a disservice, especially if you look like Kendrick. If you don't go look at what he was trying to say, the messaging, super dope. Never seen nothing like that. It's almost like, remember that time when he performed We Gonna Be All Right? I think that was at the Grammys or something, and they had the chains on in the prison and all. That boy always here with it. So I encourage you to not just judge him based off of just the music. He even said it in the set. 40 acres in the mule. This is more than the music. But that's all I got. Outside of that, man, y'all know the routine. I don't know if it's snowing where you guys are, but if it is, be careful out there. Fellas, I told y'all this last week. Got my annual checkup last week. Make sure y'all do that. I always remind y'all when I do it. Go get that checked out, guys. Make sure everything is okay, A-OK. Go do that. But outside of that, man, stay safe. Stay healthy. Oh, hold on. before I get to that. See, I'm going too fast. Right here, bam. If you haven't already, man, if you like the video, hit the like button. If you like the content, subscribe to the channel. And last but not least, turn on your notifications. Now let's get to the outro. Like I always tell you guys, stay healthy, stay safe. God bless. Good night. Like always, I thank each and every one of you guys for tuning in, and I shall catch you in the next one. Peace.